Here we go. All right, again, I am Terry Michael with the Badass Teacher Association. We are 38,000 teachers and advocates strong all across this country. I do head up the Alabama chapter. I'm also administrator of the national organization. Thank you for having me out today. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk about educational issues in Alabama. And since it is Truth and Justice Tuesday, then I thought what we will do to get to our truths, we got to get through some lies first. So, what we're going to be talking about today on this Truth and Justice Tuesday is some lies. Now, let's start out. These are lies. Oh, I see. She has my other sign over there. She has my other sign. So, Barbara, can I have my other sign?
Which one do you?
That one right there.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, and that's an important one too.
Yes.
Okay. You want to hold that one?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about the lies that our reformers, that our legislators are buying into, that our even State Board of Education are helping to promote, things that y'all need to know about. Number one, let's talk about our failing schools. Right here, let's talk about our failing schools. They say our schools are failing. I say they're wrong. I say, show me the data. Our schools are not failing because when you adjust for poverty, when you take all our schools that have 10% or less poverty in them, and you compare them to countries that also have 10% or less poverty, you know what? We're right up there at the top with them. We are right up there at the top with them. Our schools are not failing. Our problem is our poverty rate. America has one of the highest childhood poverty rates in the world, in developed countries. I think that's a travesty. You can follow the problems that we have with poverty, with the recession, with everything else, and you can see that our schools get worse as our poverty increases. So, here we go. Failing schools. Are our schools failing? No, they're not failing, all right? So we're not going to buy into that one anymore. So let's talk about this one right here. Great teachers can fix it. A great teacher can do anything. Well, you know what? Teachers cannot fix everything. That's part of, I'll just abbreviate and say BATS. That's part of the BATS philosophy, is that teachers need to stop being blamed for not being able to overcome poverty. When a child is in school and hungry and homeless and has struggles that a lot of people can't even begin to understand, you can't overcome those things. Cannot overcome the social ills and social issues that our children feel. So they are weakening our teacher tenure. They are creating less autonomy in the classroom. They're dictating them, telling them how to teach. Telling them how to teach, all to make great teachers. Let me tell you something else about great teachers. They changed the policy in 2010 on what a highly qualified teacher was. They lowered the expectations by saying if you're going to be in a Title I school, you only have to be working towards highly qualified status. You don't have to have it. So which way is it? What do they want? Do they want our teachers to be highly qualified? Are the teachers the problem? Why are they changing and lessening the certification needs for our teachers if our teachers are the problem? So you know what? A great teacher can't fix everything. So we're going to get rid of that lie right there too. Now let's move on. What else we got? I think we're going to do this one right here. Our parents are soft. They don't like Common Core because it's challenging their child, and their child is having 3 and 4 hours of homework every day. They're crying over it. The dinner table is no longer pleasant. But you know what? Those parents just need to toughen up. They need to force their child to buckle down, and they just need to try harder. Well, I don't think that's true at all. And I think the parents that have a problem with Common Core, that are saying, we don't want 4 and 5 hours of homework a night. I don't want my child to hate school. I don't want my child to hate reading. We need to lift them up, and we need to praise them, because you know what? They understand when their child is struggling and can gain knowledge and become a better person because of the struggle. And they understand when their child is struggling and just banging their head against the wall and never going to get anywhere with this, and it's only destroying their self-esteem and their feelings about themselves, because that is an achievement they cannot obtain. On the grading scale of the 1, 2, 3s, and 4s now, no child can be a 4. No child's ever going to be a 4. They're going to make sure they're a 3 because there's always room for improvement. So these children are feeling like they're never succeeding. They're never getting anywhere. So these parents are not soft. They're trying to protect their child from the problems that Common Core and this corporate reform education is putting at their doorstep. They're trying to protect their child. So no, parents, do not feel guilty. You are not being soft when you stand up for your child and your child's education. So this takes us to my last point. We hear a lot about no excuses. Poverty is not an excuse. Poverty is not an excuse. We need more rigor in the classroom. That's what we need. Well, I want to point out something right now about the no excuse philosophy. You can also say, let's talk about slack. If you have rigor, then you also have slack. So let's look at both sides of it. Kids that come from more affluent homes, that don't have to worry about where their next meal's coming from, that don't have to worry about where they're going to lay their head that night, they have a little bit more slack. When they go to school, I got a bad grade, that's okay. I couldn't make school last week, that's okay. They have a lot of room to play with. They have a lot of slack. And you know what? Those kids are the ones that are excelling. Those kids are the ones that are doing well. The kids that have the high rigor, the kids that are knocked down day after day after day, they're worrying about where their meal's coming from. They're worrying about where they're going to sleep that night. They have many, many more ills that fill their head besides that bubble test, besides that homework assignment. So those kids know about rigor, and what they don't need in the classroom is more rigor. They need slack. They need the world to tell them it's okay. It's okay.
Well, it is.
Slow down. Take your time. Let's try again. We'll do it as many times as it takes. They need the slack. Our high poverty children need slack. So when it comes to the no excuses and the rigor, that is a lie too. So I hope that I've brought something to you all, that I've given you something to think about. Once again, the Badass Teacher Association, 38,000 strong all across this country. We're fighting the corporate reform movement. We talked last time about predatory lenders.
Great.
Well, this is predatory reform. We have people out there making money off of our children, and we need to start looking at education in a new way and understand that it is now about money. It is about data points and dollar signs. It is no longer about educating our children. We all need to educate ourselves, do our homework, get online and study and see what is truly happening. Our favorite saying, follow the money and you'll find the truth. Thank you so much. I'm Terry Michael with the Badass Teacher Association.